Tony Blair, leaving his home with Cherie for the palace with a wave to his children, has always said he would do things his way. That meant that the Prime Ministerial Daimler sent to collect him had barely gone 10 yards before he ordered it to stop so that he could greet the crowds near his home. And then, tracked by the ITN helicopter, he arrived at Buckingham Palace, at which point he formally became the first Labour Premier for 18 years and the youngest this century. He's 44 next Tuesday. Meanwhile, some of the Blair children's friends were already in Downing Street, where others were already practicing their flag waving. And where, on his return from the palace, Prime Minister Blair again stopped the car, got out and began a remarkable walkabout. He and eventually Cherie too, greeting the public, specially admitted for this moment. Then the first formal declaration of the values which will guide the Blair administration.
It shall be a government rooted in strong values, the values of justice and progress and community, the values that have guided me all my political life, but a government ready with the courage to embrace the new ideas necessary to make those values live again for today's world. A government of practical measures in pursuit of noble causes.
He is there to enjoy it, and a huge crowd surging forward. He gets out of his car at the entrance to Downing Street. And a big crowd surging across Whitehall to his car, with the police trying to hold them back. Well, up till now, he's greeted crowds throughout the country during the campaign, but never can he have had scenes quite as enthusiastic as this, even if they're from, many of them, Labour Party supporters. The huge feeling of relief at the success of the party in scoring this landslide victory. Really quite overwhelming. Cherie there having almost to push away the hands that she shakes. Union Jacks have been given out to everybody there. This is an event that's been arranged by the party leadership. We're now inside Downing Street. This isn't the general public. This is people who've been invited to be here to celebrate this moment with him. And he comes to the end of the barricades, and perhaps we'll go up the other side of the street now. Cherie, who is a barrister and is determined to pursue her own life, has been with him right through this campaign, though keeping very quiet, not playing a role like Hillary Clinton played for their political mentor in the style of campaigning with President Clinton, saying you get two for the price of one. Cherie Booth, as she prefers to be called, is very much her own woman. She went to the LSE, she got a first in law, she's a practicing barrister in employment law. She's also a judge, and she will be returning to practice at the bar and carry out her work as a judge within the week. Well, it's an overwhelming outburst of enthusiasm that we're witnessing here in 10 Downing Street, and from their faces it's obvious these aren't just Labour Party members. Some of those have been invited in here, but these are members of the public as well. Voters, perhaps, even visitors from abroad, but a great wave of enthusiasm. Watch him pushing those hands away as he shakes them. You feel that both of them are going to be pulled into the crowd at any moment and passed over the crowd's heads. Neil Kinnock, did you ever see scenes like this?
No, the only recall I have is of when Harold and Mary Wilson went into Downing Street in 1964. And I was thinking last week, I went into Millbank Tower, the Labour Party election headquarters, and there's a marvellous team of a couple of hundred young people there, mainly young graduates. And they were lovely to me. They all stood opposite and they were very warm in their welcome. And I said to them that I could see myself in their place in 1964 when I was working for Jim Callaghan in his constituency in Cardiff, and we had a huge student team out. And it was almost like looking in the mirror. And you can see this absolutely genuine enthusiasm. This is no put-up job. It really is warmth for a new Labour Prime Minister.
Well, it's a heavy burden that he's carrying, because you see here people who've clearly put their trust and confidence in New Labour and will be expecting from him exactly what he's promised there, a touching sight. An old lady cheering him along, but he must be feeling all the time not just proud and pleased and excited at what he's achieved, but also that these are the people to whom he's made his promise. A reminder of the concentration of responsibility that falls on the shoulders of a British Prime Minister, quite unlike the burden that's carried by other politicians as the head of the executive, ultimately responsible for pretty much everything. In a moment he'll be coming to a microphone and speaking, as Mrs. Thatcher did 18 years ago when she brought the Tories back into office after the years of Labour government, and spoke the words of St. Francis of Assisi outside number 10. Children shouting away and very excited too, and there's Cherie right in the middle of them.